Hi everyone, welcome back to another edition of our newsletter. Lots and lots happening again at Badersett State School. Congratulations firstly to Riley, Joseph, Stevie Jean and Jensen, who all competed last week at the Pacific Rim Trials, and they're actually off to the South Coast Trials in the next week or so. So well done to those guys. As always, sporting achievements are really important in our school, and we wish them the best of luck at that next level. On that same note, Kingfisher Cup's coming up, so our footy players and netballers have been training really hard at the moment. Footy teams will be finalised today, and some notes will go home about those, and also to the netballers, just around the buses and the menus for the canteen and those sorts of things. So wishing those boys and girls the best of luck. We do have a female playing in our footy team as well, which is really fantastic to see. So looking forward to a couple of great days of footy down at Willis Park next week. Our NAPLAN results came out last week. Really pleasing to see some great student growth, and particularly for our Year 3s off to our Year 5s. We had, in the reading tests, 95% of those students actually made significant improvements from test to test, which is just fantastic to see. Some great achievement also with our Year 3s in reading. 36% of those students actually achieved upper 2 bands. Our Year 5s weren't quite that high, but still very good at 22%. So really positive to see the work that we've been doing around our focus on reading really paying off in that test, and we know through other sources of data that we have on our students with their reading achievement that's consistent across those few different sources. So well done to students, teachers and parents for working so hard with that. And look, just finally I wanted to have a little chat about social media. Social media is a really fantastic way for us to communicate with each other. It can be a really fantastic way for students to communicate with each other as well, provided it's used appropriately. We've had a few instances in the last couple of weeks where students have engaged in some social media platforms outside of school, and that's then created some issues between them here at school. It's really difficult for us to deal with the social media use. We can certainly help counsel the students around how they might be feeling because someone said or threatened or whatever it might be, their well-being or safety here at school. But the actual use of that social media outside of school ultimately is controlled by parents. So as much as we would like to be able to help you out in being able to control that, the control actually rests at home. If you're concerned about the sort of platforms that your child is using, have a talk to them about it. Talk to them about the risks, or I guess lastly, and maybe even firstly, is not allow them to use those platforms. There's not many social media platforms that allow students under the age of 13 to actually sign up. So every student at our school, technically, probably shouldn't be engaged in those. So if we start there, we can actually make some of those latter interventions that we might need to use, I guess, a little bit more effective. Hope you have another great couple of weeks. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for the last newsletter of the term. Thank you.